everybody, we have a daytime workshop happening for you today. So we're going to get started in just a minute. Today what we're going to be doing as part of this free online workshop from the Face Paint shop is I'm going to show you how to break down a design so that you can copy that, well not so much copy, so that you can then break down that design to be able to do it at home. So we are doing a daytime workshop today just to see if that is a good timing for everybody. As you can see, we've got a little bit of background noise with some cars outside and that sort of thing, but I think we'll be fine and we'll get through. So the first thing I just wanted to show you, just in case anybody hasn't seen it, is our brand new face painting book. We're very, very excited by this. This is our brand new face paint book. It's specially made for all face painters. So those who are absolute beginners and those who want to pick up on their skills a little bit. This book is exclusive to the Face Paint shop, so you'll only be able to find it at thefacepaintshop.com. And as you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of information in this one. You can buy it on its own. It's only $15, so it's nice and cheap. We also have it as part of a beginner's kit, which is called, very appropriately, a stay-at-home face painting kit. And it's everything that you need to be able to face paint at home. So we're very proud of this one. It was written by Chantel the Fairy. It has all sorts of techniques and designs within it. We're really proud. Please do grab that one because I think that you'll love it. So that's just $14.99, our brand new face paint book from thefacepaintshop.com. Yay, exciting. Okay, so there's that one. So today, what I'm going to do for you is I've actually got two designs. So we have this beautiful rainbow one here. And underneath I have another much more detailed rainbow flower design. I'm going to show you how to break it down, how to distinguish those techniques, to be able to break it down, to be able to use that as inspiration for your own designs. Okay, so we're going to start with the simpler one first. So what we're going to use today, there's a few different things. First of all, and I'll just put these out the way for now. So the first thing that we're going to use is a straight rainbow cake. This particular one that I picked up is a Rainbow 4 from Tag, but you can use any rainbow cake you like. It doesn't even have to be a rainbow. I'm particularly using a rainbow because I'm fairly confident that this particular rainbow is this Rainbow 4. But you can use anything you like. Any split cake whatsoever that you like the look of will be totally fine. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually know who painted this particular design. I'd love to give you credit if it's yours. We found it on Pinterest and it's a great design. It's a great example design. So if you do know who it is, please let us know because we always love to give credit. Just can't on this particular time because we don't know. So we're going to use a rainbow split cake of your choice, a split cake brush, and I'm actually going to use this one just because I'll get all the colours across. Okay, so a 1-inch brush, and then I want you to pick up your favourite flower brush. This particular one is from Silly Farm. It's called Pretty Petal, and you can have a look at that edge, and if I compare that to just a standard round brush, and you see the two different types, you see how it really is quite a different shape. And that's how we're going to get these particular petal shapes to happen. You'll actually find that we'll get a more distinguished petal than what's on the paper up here. But we are going to use a brush like this just to get that real beautiful sort of petally shape happening. And I'm going to use just a straight round brush. This is a, I think it's a Diamond FX number 3, I think. And we're going to use this one as well. Okay, I also have my white over here, and I have an alternative colour. So this is really important. And what I mean by alternative colour is when you have a look at this closely, you actually see that there's little colours in between these flowers, and I'm going to show you what that is in a minute. This particular one, I believe it's pink and a purple, so we're going to use those ones today. Okay, are we ready? Do we have everything that we need? I'll give you a second to make sure you've got those in front of you. So rainbow cake, split cake brush, a nice pretty petal brush of some sort, whatever brand you'd like to use, and a range of colours. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to start with is obviously this rainbow streak that she has coming down the side here. Okay, so it's fairly simple. It's literally just one stroke the whole way through. And you'll notice when you look a little bit close, this is what I really like about this design, is that it looks absolutely fantastic, but it's not perfect. And I think that's really important when it comes to face painting. Face painting doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have something exactly pristine, because this looks fantastic. And I think some of the little patches about it that are maybe not as perfect as it could be makes the design, and that's great. So it starts up here in the hairline, and it starts fairly flat. You can see that that is a full brush up there in the hairline. Okay, but as it comes down, my brush will stay flat, and she does kind of twist the brush around to come down here. And I would imagine, I don't know this for sure of course, but I'd say it's going to be a little bit messy, that rainbow part underneath the flowers here, which is totally fine because the flowers are going to cover it up. And that's only my guess, you know, who knows, maybe it ends absolutely perfectly there, we'll find out. So I've got some water on my brush. I'm going to load up my Rainbow 4 split cake from Tag. And this is why I think this particular design was probably done with this particular split cake, because you can see that those colours are blending together. And that's why I think it was probably done with this one. I could be wrong though. Okay, so starting in the hairline, we're going to come down across the forehead, and we're going to end around about here on the cheekbone. So there we go. I'm just going to come over that again, just to cover up that little white section that happened. Cool, okay, that looks pretty much right to me. The other thing that they've got, which is actually a little bit hard to see on the angle of this photo, so I'm going to guess a little bit, is that there's something coming over the eye over here as well. So I would imagine it probably went up from the eye outwards. And the reason I think it did that is because it's easier. I know whenever I'm painting, it's much easier to start on the hard part and work your way out. So I think they probably did that too. So I'm going to start on the eye. I'm going to keep it nice and flat as well, and just kind of flip it up just that little bit. Now I flipped up because I think it's pretty. I can't actually tell what has happened or what they did over here, but I think it's a pretty good guess. Okay, how does that feel? We've done our rainbow over there. You pretty happy with that so far? Cool, okay. Now I'm going to teach you a secret. Now this is a really, really cool effect, and it's something that you'll want to play with and you'll have lots of fun. What I'd like you to do is pick up your flower brush. Now this could be actually designed as a flower brush this particular one is from Silly Farm, it's called Pretty Petal. However, there are other brushes that are pretty similar, and they're not necessarily, you know, called flower. They might be called something else, but they're pretty much the same thing. But what we're looking for is this particular shape. Okay, I'm going to wet my brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn a technique called double loading. Now, double or triple loading for that matter, it was originally a folk art technique. I'm just going to grab my water over here. This is a little spray bottle of water. Okay, so it was originally a folk art technique, and face painters have taken this technique and they've decided to use it as well, which is great. So the way that we do is that we actually get multiple colours on the one brush stroke. Now that could be 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever you want to do. It's a little bit tricky, but you'll be able to pick it up really, really easily. Now there's a few sort of parts of double loading or triple loading that is kind of goes against the face paint rule as such. Because generally speaking, you try and keep your paints pretty clean. You don't ever spray your cakes, because if you were to spray your cakes, that water can actually sink down into the paint and it can make it go gluggy and stuff over time. So we have to kind of ignore some really, really basic face painting rules here. You got to do double loading, sorry. So I am spraying my face paints, which is a huge no-no, but honestly, there's no sort of great way of being able to double load without already having your paints ready to go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is with my lightest colour. So this particular one, it's the white. So I'm going to load up my white. You see, I've used this white a lot, so I'm using around the edge because the centre is just the bottom. Okay, so I'm loading up my white like this, and I'm making sure that I get paint on the entire bristle. Okay, so see how it's completely coated. And then I'm going to go to one of my other colours. I'm going to start with the purple. And I'm just going to put paint on the bottom part. So I'm not pushing my bristles down the whole way. You see, I'm just getting paint just on the very, very tip. And then what's going to happen when I paint with that, and hopefully you can see this with white on white, is you see we actually get this awesome flower effect. See, pretty cool. You actually get those two colours happening. So this particular design is outside out, outside in, as in the white is on the outside. So we're going to do it that way. So she's got a flower about there. And you see how we're getting this really lovely flower shape without me really having to do much. All I'm doing is just very, very gently pushing my bristle down. Okay, then she's got another one just across from there. Like so, and then there's the centre one. And it kind of comes down a little bit further than it was probably meant to. Cool. Okay, coming down further on the side here, there's definitely a few more down here. And there's actually, there's a few little down there, so that's pretty. Cool. Okay, like so. Oh, sorry, there's another one over there that we can't quite see. There we go, awesome. Okay, we're going to put this brush down now, and we're going to do these little teardrop swipes here. Now, the reason I'm going to use a different brush with that, and I'll explain why. This double loading is a beautiful technique, but it only really works for dabbing, because if I was to drag that across, you see, I'm just going to get this kind of messy, I'm not going to get that beautiful double colour happening. It's just going to be one complete colour that will join together. And of course, that's not what has happened up here. So I'm going to put that aside for one sec. I'm going to pick up just a normal round brush. So not like a pretty flowery one. Back to my white. Okay, so they've definitely got some nice little dots in here. So we'll come along and we'll do that. Dot, 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 dot. Cool. Okay, then we've got some teardrops happening. So the teardrops is something that takes a little bit of practice. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to put our brush down to the paper and we're going to slowly bring it back and up at the same time. I'm going to do that in different colours so you can see it just in one sec. So I'll paint them over here and then I'll show you again how I did it with a different colour. So they're kind of pointing into the flower. So we've got down and up, down, back and up at the same time, back and up at the same time, and then the other side as well. Back and up at the same time. Cool, and then there's some coming down here. There we go, how's that looking? Looks like there might potentially be something happening over here as well that we can't quite see. Okay, now we have some little dots around as well. I'd say the dots were a bit of a filler, a little bit of an afterthought. Just my guess, I have no idea. But now you see that they do look a little bit kind of splodgy. They're not sort of exact circle dots, which is totally fine, but I'm going to show you another technique later on. For now, we're just going to copy what's over here though. So we've got just some little dots happening. They are a bit splodgy. And the reason they're a little bit splodgy, by the way, is because of the brush. And I would say that was probably because whoever painted this would have been probably on the job. You know, switching up brushes every single time that you're trying to paint something different is a bit much. So I'd say they probably picked up the one brush, did their pretty swirls, and then just added in some dots for a little bit of prettiness. And rather than using a smaller brush, that would have given you really nice little detailed dots, by using the very, very, very tip of your brush, I'd say that they're probably in a little bit of a hurry, which is fine, especially when you're out working, and push their brush just that touch too hard, which is why some of these are more kind of splodgy than circles. But again, I don't think it matters. And there we go. That's the exact design. You can see that they've also filled in the lips with a really nice pearlescent pink, which is lovely. I don't have one of those sitting right here, so I won't worry about it. And there we go. There is our Pinterest design. And you can see how that was broken up, and it was actually pretty easy in the end. Okay, so a nice big sweep of the rainbow. We've got some double loaded flowers. We've got a couple of little sweeps and some dots, and they're all done with some simple techniques, and definitely all things that you can do at home. Cool, how do we feel about that? Is that something that we like, something that you can break up and do at home? Cool, cool. I'm going to show you, like I promised, those teardrops with a different colour on this white paper, just so that you can see that a little bit better. So this blue here, this is actually a beautiful blue. This is a metallic blue. I love all the metallic colours. This particular one is from Diamond Effects, which is probably my favourite range of metallics. They're just beautiful to work with. They're so shimmery and so pretty. Okay, so doing this teardrop again, just on the white paper so you can see. So I've got a round brush, really important that it's round. It just doesn't work with a flat brush. We're going to push our bristles the whole way down, and that's how we get that kind of rounded shape. It's actually from the rounded bristles. And then we drag our bristles back and up at the same time. And what that's doing is giving this little tail. Okay, so we'll show that a few more times. So down the whole way to get the round, back and up. Down, back and up at the same time. And what we're looking for is to be nice and smooth with it. And up. And then from there, I mean, there's so many things that you can use teardrops for. Look at this flower down here. We can add some pretty teardrops in the whole way around and have this really nice effect happening. You can give yourself a nice little central spot or focus, and then have your teardrops all pointing in the one direction. Lots and lots of different effects that you can do with that teardrop. And to be honest, it's one of those things that is on so many different face paint designs. And once you notice that sort of teardrop, some people call it a comma, by the way, a comma effect, and you can see exactly why, because it looks like a comma as well. Once you start doing this and once you notice it and you look at designs, you will notice this particular technique in just so many different face paint designs, which is really cool. Okay, how are we doing for time? Okay, beautiful. So, this practice space that I'm using is brand new. It's from Tab. It's actually really, really cool. So it's a wipeable practice space. So they're on our website, thefacepaintshop.com. And you can see that was just a baby white, and that's all just wiped its weight off, which is really, really cool. Alrighty, now we're going to do this design. Now this design looks so much harder. However, it's actually really, really similar. And I'm going to show you as we go along just quite how similar that is. All we need to do is just break it down. Okay, so it's step by step. The very first thing we're going to notice, and this is, you know, really focusing and really looking deeply, intensely at this particular design. When you look really close, and I'll just bring this up to the camera a little bit. And again, I'm so sorry, I don't know who painted this. I'd love to be able to tell you exactly who it was, and love to be able to give you the credit because it's stunning, but I unfortunately just don't know this particular one. I can tell you that the information for this was written in Dutch though, so. Okay, so anyway, underneath these flowers, you'll see a very familiar rainbow. It's the same rainbow. Look at that, you've got red at the top, and then yellow and then purple. That is the exact same rainbow that we just used. So the first thing we'll do is pick up our same rainbow. I'll just wet it again because it's been sitting there for a few minutes, so it would have gone dry. And we'll do this beautiful rainbow across the head. That's a forehead, I should say, some head. Okay, there we go. So there we've got our rainbow going across. The next thing, and it's difficult because you've got to look sort of like underneath the flowers, but there seems to be like sort of like a bit of a shimmery effect down here. So for that, I'm going to grab a shimmer. It might not be exactly the same one, but to me that looks like probably a silvery, maybe whitish. You can sort of see under here. I'm going to use a sponge for that. And we're going to give a little bit of shimmery effect just under there. I'm dabbing it on because I want it to be a nice and strong colour. And that's blended in with my rainbow nice and pretty. Okay, cool. Looks like it comes down the nose just a touch there. Just the shimmery part kind of comes down here just that little bit, so we'll give that a little bit down and around as well. Okay, cool. That is actually the underneath part. So that was doable. You know, we can certainly do that. Okay, the next part that I can see is all of these flowers. And that's exactly what we did before. So we had, let's see, it looks like it's about here. We've got white and pink. The white is definitely on the outside. So we'll load up our whites. By the way, if you are using this double loading technique a lot, I like to actually have separate face paints that I use just for that. And the reason being is because it kind of makes your paints a little bit messy sometimes. You can see here that my white has gone a little bit pink, or it's actually purple, but I hate that. So if this was something that you're doing all the time, buy yourself some separate paints. You can even cut them up so that they're, you know, just paints for that. Okay, loading up our pink at the bottom. And it's about, let's say here. Sorry, that's a little bit damp still. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, and then underneath we can see that these are actually the exact same petals, it's just not into a flower. So that's okay, we can do that. Let's see, it's white on the outside, so we'll copy that down. Looks like a little bit smaller coming down the nose. Okay, any more pink ones? Yep, there's a pink one over here. So we'll do our pink flower. They've actually probably used more like a, I'd say magenta or maroon the particular pink that I have picked up, but that's okay. Coming down. Okay, let's see, and there's a few more on this side as well. Okay, that looks like all my pinks. Beautiful. All right. Now we've got these blues happening, which are really, really pretty. Any questions so far? Okay, so I'm just going to rinse off my pink, and we're going to do the exact same thing but with a blue. So I've got white on the outside, and then blue, and I'm going to use this same beautiful metallic blue because it's just really, really nice. Okay, so we've definitely got a blue flower about here. And then we have this really, really pretty petal shapes coming up. But when you break them down, they're actually fairly simple. Okay, like so, and then we have another blue flower over here. And there's one down there as well. I've left a bit too much space over here. But that's okay. Alright, awesome. I think that's looking pretty close. So obviously there's a few things that are a bit different. The first thing that I can see straight away is that they've used a lot more white than blue. They've definitely got just a very, very tip of blue at the on the inside. Everything else is kind of more white around, but I think it's probably close enough. Okay, then we have these leaves happening, and it looks as if, and I'm just going to bring this up close to the camera again, those leaves, these little green ones here, well, that's the exact same thing as the petals. It's got a light green or potentially yellow on the outside, and then a light in the centre. So again, we can do that. We can do that in the exact same technique. So let's do that now. So I'll just grab two different greens. So we've got a light green on the outside. Oops, and I need a darker green now for the inside, which I don't have. Just grab me a dark green, please. And look, yeah, it looks pretty close to the outside. It actually could be more of a neon green on the outside, I reckon. It's just that little bit lighter. Perfect, thank you. And then we have a darker green. This one is actually technically essential green. This particular one is from the Diamond FX range. And you can see straight away, you see what I mean about kind of messing up your colours. And I mean, to clean it is really simple. You just rub a baby wipe over the top, but it does kind of feel like a waste of paint sometimes, which is why I really, really like having separate colours that I use just for loading. Okay, so we've got these really pretty little leaves happening, and they're exactly the same technique. The image has gone fuzzy. So it has. Yep.
It's from the erasing that up.
Yep, so it has. Sorry about that, everyone. We noticed it has gone a little bit fuzzy. We're not really sure why, but I'll bring this up. Seems to work up like that. So we'll see how talented I can be. Maybe we can get the camera to adjust itself as we go down. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we're doing our leaves. Let's see, we've got some greens down here. We've got some leaves here. Looks like pretty much everywhere, to be honest. Mine is definitely messier than this lovely artist who has done an incredible job, really. It's beautiful. But that's okay, it shows you the demonstration of how you can break up these designs. Okay, that looks pretty close to what they've done. Perfect. Okay, what else is on our design here? There's a couple of little things. The next thing that I can see a lot of are these little circles around. Now, I could be wrong here. I could absolutely be wrong, but they look perfect to me. Those are perfect, perfect little circles. I don't think that was painted with a brush. I absolutely could be wrong. This could be someone who is an amazing control of their brushwork. I think it could have been done with a stencil because I think those circles are just perfect. And we're absolutely going to use a stencil today. I'm also going to use makeup sponges. So these are really, really cool little makeup sponges that we sell here. They're perfect because they're little and small and easy to use. And the difference between that and a face paint sponge, basically it picks up less paint. And that's an awesome secret to using stencils. Because when you're using stencils, too much paint makes it go everywhere. So I'm going to use my makeup sponge, pick up some white, and I'm going to use these little circles on my star stencil. I'm just going to use the dots. It won't be exactly the same because I don't have that exact shape. Let's see, there's some coming down here on the nose. We've got some over there, up on the eyebrow. Oops, I've used a little bit of the star then. That's right, I'll clean that off in a sec. We have some really pretty, it's actually like a perfect line coming down there, coming across the forehead, which I don't have a line of circles, so it's pretty close. Wow, I've made a mess of that. That's alright, we'll just clean that up quickly. That's the other great thing about face painting, by the way. Make a mess, give it clean. By the way, if you were painting on someone's face, this wouldn't happen, the smudges, because it would have dried by now, but because I'm painting on these awesome little practice faces, it wasn't quite dry when I put that stencil over the top. But hey, you live and learn. There we go, fixed up. Okay, beautiful, cool. What else is there? We've got some little stars. Again, that's really simple that we can use our little detail brush to paint in. So I'm using a little tiny, tiny brush just to get these little stars. I'm going to put one over here where I had to wipe everything off as well, just so that it covers that up a little bit. Okay, awesome. And one last thing that this design has, which again is something that you can absolutely do, is the little gemstones. And they've done a great job of kind of matching the colours through, which I love. So we have blues over here. We've got smaller ones coming up. And then we have pink ones. Ooh. I really like this particular one because it gives you so many different colours. This particular gemstone. Cool, and because I've run out of blue, I'm going to use a purple one up here just so that we Okay, how's that? Not bad. Obviously not the same, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. We're never going to get the same perfect face on a practice face compared to someone's actual skin. But what I think is really cool about this is that you can absolutely see the technique. And you can see how we've broken this up. And with a little bit of practice and maybe using an actual face, an actual someone's skin, you'll be able to paint that exact same. So as we've broken that up, we've got the rainbow coming across. There we've got a little bit of shimmer underneath. We've got double dipped flowers. We've got the gemstones. We've got some dots, which again I think are so perfect that I think it probably was a stencil, and I could be wrong with that, but I would recommend the stencil. We've got some little stars happening. And do you know what? I'd probably chuck some glitter over the top of that as well if this was my design. So that is something that you can definitely do at home. I hope that that helps to be able to break up your designs. When you see an awesome design, you go, how the heck did they do that? Well, step by step, that's something that you can do as well. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Please share these videos. We are going to put them on YouTube, but give us some time. Please continue to support us. Thefacepaintshop.com is where you can get all your supplies from, including all of these colours, all of these brushes, these practice faces, the gemstones, the rainbow that we used, even the baby wipes that I used to clean off the colours and to wipe off my mistakes. Okay, so that's everything is here at thefacepaintshop.com. We are absolutely still posting everything out every single day. All of our face paints have antibacterial agents built into them. That's what makes them professional paints. So you know that you can trust all of our supplies. And we're still here. So please grab whatever you'd like, whatever you need, whatever we inspired you to get today. Please grab it from thefacepaintshop.com. And thank you so much. And we will see you next time. Bye everyone.